It was a cold night for December, even for St. Petersburg, and incredibly crisp and bright with light snow falling. A couple emerged from the doorway of the cafe at the Museum of Coffee and walked along the river east toward Potemkinskaya Ulica, then turned south to walk through the Tauride Gardens. The gardens, for those unfamiliar with St. Petersburg and its history, is part of the grounds of the palace where Grigory Potemkin, confidant and some would insist lover, of Catherine the Great, once lived while a favorite of the great empress. This story, though, is not about Catherine and Grigory, although perhaps there may be some parallels. No, this one is about a couple some 320 years later. This pair had met for the first time a decade or so prior, but remained virtual strangers until a quirk of fate reintroduced them. Neither had agreed to meet with the intention of anything more than a cup of coffee with an old acquaintance. Somehow those expectations changed drastically a few minutes into the evening. The evening was beautiful in a way which probably occurs the world over, but gains a particular depth which elevates it above all others on crisply cold Russian winter nights. It was marked by a subtle crackle audible with each puff of air expelled as the moisture in each breath froze and fell to the ground as gently as the snow and crackled underfoot just as subtly. Neither of the lovers, it was plain to see that although they may have started the evening as strangers, they had been somewhat transformed by the events thus far, spoke for some time as they moved together silently, as if at a glide through the gardens, which were themselves resplendently crystalline in the moonlight. Finally, the woman broke the silence as they were passing a stand of birch bedecked with a dazzling series of icicles. Grigory Alexandrovich, she started. Grisha, please. Grigory Alexandrovich was my grandfather of blessed memory, he interrupted gently. Is what I think actively happening? If you're asking if you've completely captivated me and run off with my heart and affections, then yes, it has. This is a thing of wonder and of horror. Horror? He asked. Why should love be anything but beautiful? I do not understand. It is a thing of horror to me, she replied. I am a daughter of my mother's, the Zoria. Having fallen in love, when Zveda Poloshnaya reaches her zenith in the night sky, she will call me home. Across the gardens, a church bell rang out, marking midnight, and no longer was the woman resplendent with the glow of newfound love, but now, equally as much with starlight. With tears in both their eyes, she turned from him, stunning in a horrible and beautiful way, and ascended to her mother's side, leaving him alone and bedazzled.